Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you've had a lovely weekend. And Monday, you're fit and well and raring to go. If not, and I know some of you are struggling at the minute, it's that time of the year, lots of those bugs flying around. You know, if not, just take it easy, relax, and let's hope plenty of water and maybe some vitamins, and who knows, a couple of days, let's hope you're feeling tons better. Now this morning, well, it could be this afternoon or this evening, I'm coming in with a little festive design. And this has been requested. I was at a workshop recently and a lovely lady asked me if I'd do a video on this design. So just for you, I'm going to do it. And this is using some of our newer stamps, but with one of our lovely old favourites. And I love that way that the designs mix and match. And I'm thinking this is great for batch card making. Also, don't forget your lovely envelopes. And my suggestion would be only use permanent ink. So that's your Versafine Clair. And I tend to put my design in this bottom left-hand corner. So I can put my postage stamp up here and I can put the address there. And I just think when you get that in the post, you just know you're special. So, as I say, this is the design. And the good thing is for me, that's another Christmas card made for my box. Because I don't want to get, you know, like us crafters do, a week before and we suddenly go, oh, I need a few more emergency cards. Well, this is going to be one of mine. And I've introduced a lovely new Stickles. Now, when I was at the Dreamatorium recently, Jack introduced me to this new Stickles. And I didn't have this colour. And this is rose gold. So I had to do a design just to use this, so thank you, Jack. You know your glitters, don't you? Now, this all starts on a piece of Multifarious card, and this is 5.5 inches square. Now, you could, I know some of you don't like square cards, you like your more rectangular cards. You could just make a smaller section look and have it on an A6 design. So again, you could just alter this design a little just to suit you. So I'm going to start off with one of my well-loved stamps, and this is the holly. It's not the mini holly, it's the main holly, and this is fabulous. And I'm just saying, it makes a wonderful wreath. If you need a wreath, this is your stamp to go to. Look, it just first and second generation, honestly, great for quick cards. Now I'm going to come in today with Rainforest. Now, Shady Lady, or Shady Lane, correct title, she works very well for this. But mine, I've got to be honest, she's getting a bit well used. So she was a bit pale. So I've gone for Rainforest. And all I'm going to do, now I'm starting, I've turned mine to this side. So I find it easier to do my stamping this way. But you do yours however it suits you. So I'm just going to start in the middle and stamp once coming down. And the beauty with this stamp, not only does it make great wreaths, but it sort of tessellates, so it looks like it's a longer stem of holly. Now I don't want to go too far down, but then I'm also just going to angle the design, and we're just going to come to the side here. And then we'll, just to start that nice shape. Now, I am leaving space in between because obviously that's where I'm going to put my other stamps. I don't want it to look too busy. I want to be able to use a mixture of lovely stamps, but not create that, dare I say, that pizza design. So that's sort of what we're going for. Now, I'm thinking, obviously that wasn't quite in the middle. So I've got a bigger gap this side, so not to worry. All it means, I don't want it symmetrical anyway, so I'm just going to pop that little bit there, just to finish that space. And I'll give that a wipe, just a damp cloth, and then dry with a dry cloth, and then that can go away. So the next stamp I'm going to come in with is the lovely Glimmer Orbs. And I'm going to use the smallest one and the next to smallest one. So it's not the largest one. But again, you'll decide which ones you actually want to use. And for this, I've gone Portobello. I'm sort of going browns and golds with this. And I'm thinking I'm going to have this one hanging here. Now, again, you can, if you want, stamp the lovely Glimmer Orbs look further down and use your brown fine liner and draw yourself a lovely little hanging chain. Or I'm just going to stamp mine so it's hanging from actually just under the leaf. So totally up to you. So that's the larger one. I'm going to have the larger one sort of as my more focal point. And then I'm going to come in with 2 more. And again, you can stamp as many of these as you want. But again, if you remember, odd numbers work well. I'm just thinking, I think I'll put that one there. Yes, happy with that. Next, the lovely sugar pine cones. And again, I've gone for the smaller one. These are my lovely dangly bits. And I'm just going to dangle these. And again, what's nice, look, it looks like it's under that lovely holly. And I'm just going to do a variety of these. Oh, it'd be nice just to have one off the page there. Maybe one just there. Yes, like that. Now, I've still purposely left some white space. And the thing about this is to show you it's good to leave that white space because we're going to come in now and fill it a little bit. And for this, we're going Sand Dune, or Sandra Dune as we now know her. And this is a lighter colour. So what it will mean is when I use this sprig from the Starpine, it's a lighter colour so it'll go into the background. So it won't sort of be in your face. Now, I don't particularly want this stem here. So a little tip, and I'm not going to lift that over my work. If I just ink up in the corner, look, I won't get the stem. If I ink up the whole thing and show you. Can you see? So it's got this big stem. Now, I don't particularly want that. So I'm just going to ink up in the corner. And what I want is just these frondsy bits, look. And this way, I can give myself, look at that. So we're building up that design, but we still want that white space. And we don't want it to look like a pizza. So again, and I just want to come out both sides. So I want one here, look, where I've got my lovely hanging cone. So again, inking up in the corner. And if I just look at the design, so again, we've got that nice subtle mix. Now you could stop there, but I think it just needs a little bit more to finish that shape off. So I've gone for this one from the Winter Foliage. And I'm going to Avocado, a lighter green. So I'm keeping with the green tones like the holly. But this lighter one, again, will keep it in the distance, look. But I can just build up, a bit like being a flower arranger. And we're just adding that extra bit of foliage to the design. If you wanted to elongate any or just make the shape a little bit better, this is a great stamp to do it with, look. Maybe here we can have... and this side. It's a great filler stamp, this. If you've got any bits where you just need a little bit of extra colour. See, I'm thinking here, just a little bit to add that shape there. I don't want to overdo it. But I like that overall. Yes, I'm happy with that. I'm going to stop there. And what I'm going to do now, one of the most important bits is give this a blot. Remember, your Versafine Clair, slower drying ink, so give it a good blot. Because we're just going to add a little bit of background colour. You could leave the design like this, but I almost think it's a little bit insipid, a little bit see-through. So in the elements, I'm going into the Sahara. And I'm just going to start in the middle here, look, and I'm going to go over where I've stamped the design. And for me, this instantly gives it a little bit of body. And because we've given it a good blot, it won't smudge. And I just want a little bit deeper colour on the top to then come down There we go. And you see what I mean? It just gives it a bit more oomph. Now, if it's a new ink pad, make sure you do blend in the lid. Give it a good blend. Now, it might be you'll have enough ink left on your brush from what you've used before. So maybe try that out. Now for the colour. And we've gone for the Mondelez pens number 3, 5 and 30. And I'm just going to get myself a piece of kitchen roll to lean on because I don't want to get marks on this space here. And I'm just going to give the orbs these beautiful hanging baubles. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that nice quick colouring that we do. Well, I do. Again, it might be you want to spend the afternoon adding colour. Take your time. Might be you've stamped more orbs because you love colouring them in, which is perfectly fine. You know me, I do the little, and I like to leave a little circle in the middle of lighter without the pencil, because that instantly gives me that glow. So if I didn't have a white pen, at least I've got that glow already. And I just blend over that orange, and I just want to have that sort of goldy effect. And then with the brown, I'm just going to add a little bit of colour down this side and at the base, so that the area that I don't colour in will instantly have that highlight. So to add highlight, we can add white pen, but also we can leave an area that we haven't coloured in. There we go. So we've got that nice, already we're starting to build up tones just very quickly. 3 pencils, that's all. Signo, you know I love these, the Uniball. This is the gold. And a little tip on the berries. Now again, the berries, you could do your traditional red. I've gone for gold just because I want to keep those sort of yellowy gold, browny tones. But you could make this 2 or 3 times. You could have red berries on one, you could have gold on another. Now, if you notice when I'm colouring the berries, I sort of do a circular motion and leave a little area of white, again, just to act as my highlight. But it also means when I come in with my pen over the top, I personally find it easy to add the highlight because there's no other pen underneath it. That makes sense. But again, I'm sure you'll have your own way of adding highlights. And with the gold pen, I'm also just going to add on the lovely book, the hanging, and just these little bits here, just in the gold. So I've got the accessories and it matches beautifully. Now I think I've got all the berries, but you know me, if I've left any, do shout and let me know. Going to come in with my mangaka, the white one, and I'm just going to add some little, just where I left the white area, we'll have a couple, and we'll have a couple of little dots on the berries. And it just makes that difference, and on a couple of the leaves. So this one will just add. Now I'm purposely not adding any splats on this one, any snow, because a few of you said you don't do the snow. So I thought, right, I'll listen. But if you wanted, this will be a perfect one to add some Posca or acrylic paint snow. So I'm just going to go for a few white highlights. I think we'll add one there. Going to stamp the sentiment now, just before I add my stickles, just so that I don't put my hand in my stickles. And the sentiment I've gone for is of the Christmas greetings, and I've gone for Christmas blessings. I just think it's lovely, that. And I'm going to come in with the Portobello, but it would look nice in the green, or you could do it in your 2 colours, the Portobello and the Sand Dune. So I'm thinking I'm just going to put it in the middle here. And then I'm going to come in with that lovely new Stickles, well, new to me. And because Stickles, for me, it can be a bit rude, especially when it's new and it can spit on my work. So what I'm going to do is just put some on my mat here. And also I'm a bit thrifty and it lasts longer. And as I say, this is rose gold. So I've got an empty Wink of Stella brush here. This is one, I have a couple on the go at any one time. And this is one that I just let empty and I didn't put a replacement in, but I use it to paint my Stickles on. And this way I can paint my Stickles exactly where I want it. And what I've found is because it goes on lighter as well as it not spitting on my work, it dries quicker. And I've got to be honest, I use less. So my Stickles last longer. But what I've found with this design, if there's anywhere that say you did have a stem that you weren't keen on, or there was a little area of stamping that you weren't keen on, and you know, it can happen. Sometimes it doesn't go quite to the edge, and maybe you just want to hide that edge there. The Stickles is fabulous, but this colour just really goes lovely, and it matches with the lovely sugar pine cones and the fir cones. Now, the fir cone branch would work well for this design as well. Right, I think I've got enough exactly where I want it. So I'm just going to wipe that up, otherwise I'm likely to put my arm in it and have a glittery jumper. And that's all there is to it, look. And I just think that's such a lovely Christmas design with just the right amount of sparkle, look. And don't forget, it's nice to decorate the envelope and the back of the card. And there I've just matted and laid a little. But you could put it directly. You could even do this directly on the card blank if you wanted. And it would make a lovely page in your journal. Or if you're doing a scrapbook about Christmas, a traveller's notebook, I'm sure you could come up with a wonderful design. So thanks as always for joining me. I can't wait to see what you create. Please tag me in so that I can have a look. Now, what colour Glimmer Orbs are you going to have? Are you going for gold like me? Or have you got a favourite colour? Anyway, I'll see you again soon. You take care. Much love and hugs from me. Bye for now.